Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I think something to think about with this contentment, and we're kind of changing the conversation a little bit here, but if we apply the change formula to that, for me, for example, I've seen the concept of like being a little bit slower, of being content with what I have and who I'm around, and the things that knowing that material items aren't going to make me satisfied in the long run. Money isn't the ultimate goal. There's other goals of like having quality family time and all this kind of stuff, right? I would call that the vision, right?
Yeah.
In the formula. And those things sound great, but they're actually really hard to get. And they take time, they take practice and habit and rhythm. But it's not until I can't sleep at night because I'm stressed out. It's not until I feel alone and stretched. It's not until I am dealing with these pains that I realize,
Right.
man, I've got to change something. I've got to change the way my perspective on life. I've got to change the way that I'm waking up in the mornings, how I start my day, what time I go to bed at night. I got to start working out. I got to lose some weight. It's not until those pains where I feel the pain of that I actually make the change, like your change formula. So,
And that you hit on a really important thing there is we look at what are the causes for resistance. And I ask groups whenever I speak to people or new clients, I ask, what? I hear a lot of things.
yeah,
But the two that stick most with me, people where they say, well, my resistance is I don't understand, or I don't know what to do and I don't have time, those kind of things. But the meaningful ones really come down to two things. People are scared of change. And when I ask them what they're scared of failure. And we can dive into that a little bit. What the likelihood of failure when you get up all day, every day, and put all your efforts into going to the right, what are the chances that you're going to go to the left? Well, you might, but you're doing it anyway. So fear of failure is one. And the second one I call inertia. I'm willing to change, but that's a lot of work. And I'm busy today, and I got to make this sale. I got these problems. And so I'm not going to change today, but I'm going to. I'll change tomorrow. And of course, we all know tomorrow never comes. Now, if you turn up the heat enough on the stove, there's a point where you go, I believe I'll change right now. And that's what we're talking about. You have to find those motivating things. And just something I read too, I want to backfill what we've been talking about is all human actions, and I think I agree with this, all human actions are made in response to either the pain or the pleasure.
yeah.
You don't do anything that's not.
The way that my senior high school English teacher put it was every book that's ever been written, every play is either about sex or death, pain or pleasure. He said, Eddie, you tell me, give me any movie. I'll tell you how it's either about sex or death.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain things people are interested in, right? So no, that is, I mean, I had a guy yesterday, I had a really early morning meeting and I walked out with an old friend from high school and he said, how'd you get into this coaching business and stuff? And I said, well, recited my history of some companies and sold them or they failed, one or two. Anyway, they're gone and thought I'd do this. And I said, I thought I knew a lot of stuff. Maybe I can help. And I told him, I said, turns out I do know a lot of stuff. But being a good coach was not among those things. It was 2 years of figuring out how do you, and by that time there were a couple of guys standing there and I said, you have to have a protocol, an approach, something to think about, something to check against. Am I doing this? This is something I can do. And this pain formula or this change formula is something you can do. What do I want less of? What do I want more of? And write them down. And if they're not motivating, that's not really the deal. There's something out there. I mean, I had a guy one time was speaking to a group of guys in blue shirts with their names over their pockets and saying, what do you want? And more money, more time off, all this. This one guy gets around, he goes, I got to buy a house and I got to do it this year. I go, really? Why? Because she won't marry me unless we can buy this house.
Ooh.
Boom. Overtime, Saturdays, Sundays,
Yeah.
anything extra. There's motivation, right? And
That's really good.
as usual, came from a woman.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, it might be there, it might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.